Um, I really want to ask you about the, in my opinion, all-star cast that came together for Smiling Friends. I mean, you have so many people in this that are so, like, I was so excited to see Mark M. from Sick Animation, Mike from Red Letter Media doing a voice. Chris O'Neill does a bunch of work on the show, and I didn't notice that until I sat and read all the credits, because I'm like, I know that there are people that I know hidden in here that have worked on this. So what was that process like, and how exciting is it for you to essentially get to kind of like work with your friends and people you admire?
It was great. I mean, it really is a dream. And you know what? It's such a Hollywood thing for every project, and everybody says we had great people we worked with. It really is true this time. Like, it really, I don't think there's one person you could cut out of the production of the pilot and it would be like the same. I really believe it. Mark M. Sick Animation did the boss, and actually a guy called David, who, if you've ever seen Sick Animation's live action stuff where he's got that roommate character that he does, that guy played the party guy that's rotoscope that like blows the vape in Pim's face. We got that guy. He did a great job. He did a really funny job. It was great. Yeah, Chris O'Neill did the 3D model at the beginning, and he did the credits music at the end. It was great. Obviously, finally, Mike Stacklasa, Red Letter Media did Desmond, the main character. The whole kind of mentality we walked into it. And obviously Nick and Finn Wolfhard, but the whole mentality we went into it with was, let's pretend, and I still have this mentality, let's pretend we never get to make any more of this. Let's pretend it's a one-off. And I hope this doesn't happen, but let's pretend this is a one-off and the whole project dies with this one thing. That's worst case scenario. And in TV with pilots and everything, it's not unlikely. So we're kind of like, let's go in and out with a bang. That was kind of the idea. One thing I'm proud of is, when The Simpsons gets like a guest in season 32, it's kind of like, it'll be like, Lady Gaga comes in as Lady Gaga, and it's not that great. But I think the best show to ever do voice cameos was South Park, where they had like George Clooney come on as a dog, as Stan's gay dog in season 1, where they literally got like one of the biggest actors ever in Hollywood to come bark. Nobody knew it was him. He just barked like a dog. That was it. And there's a famous story of Jerry Seinfeld's agent called the South Park guys and said, can you do a voice? And they were like, yeah, you can do a turkey. And the agent was like, no fucking way. So we didn't do exactly that, but I think my point is, I think a really good voice a good guest voice on an animated show is one you don't even know is a guest voice. And I feel like if you don't know what Red Letter Media is, I feel like you can watch the pilot and still like enjoy that character. I feel like it works well enough where if you have no idea who Mike Stacklasa or Red Letter Media, or even Nick or Finn Wolfhard or Sick Animation, I don't feel like there's anybody that really stands out in a way that's obvious. I'm biased, obviously, because, I wrote it and everything with Michael. But I feel like we tried to put everybody in a role that if you had no idea who they were, you would still enjoy it and it would still feel right. And I feel like if we do get to make any more, that's kind of our model going forward, which would be, all right, we will have some people that are maybe kind of more traditional celebrities, like a Finn Wolfhard, I guess. But I think for him, most people don't even know it's him. They have no idea it's even him. So, but then on the other hand, we have people like Tom Fulp and maybe even kind of Sick Animation, which is a little bit more kind of an indie online internet person. And we have a laundry list of people we'd love to have on. If anybody follows my work or Michael's work and kind of knows what we're interested by in terms of people we watch, both from a standpoint of like fascination but also admiration, I think you get a kind of a good idea of who we might have as guests. It'll never be like, Tom Cruise comes on the show as Tom Cruise. It'll always sort of be like either weird forgotten celebrities or kind of obscure ones. I'd even love to have people who've gotten into scandals that have kind of been forgotten about. That's like interesting to me. It's like weird.
Ooh, like who? Who comes to mind?
I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil it, but not no too big of scandals. I'm just saying like God, who's a good example of a celebrity which is not really somebody who sort of fall to the. Okay, I'll actually give you a really good one because he's dead now, so it doesn't matter. But Kirk Douglas, we really wanted to, we were like, man, if we get to make any more episodes. Kirk Douglas was born in, I think 1916 or something. He was still alive.
Yeah, the teens.
And we were like, fuck, how good would it be to have Kirk Douglas come in at 103? Nobody's trying to get Kirk Douglas. Nobody. So stuff like that, where it's like, we're people that you would never expect, I guess is the best example. So hopefully if we do have guest voices and guest appearances, it would be people either that like you would never expect, or if you did expect it, they would be in a role that you would not even know it's them, hopefully. You know what I mean? Where it feels pretty in the fabric of the show, where it's not standing out as kind of a sore thumb.
Can we get Canadian singer-songwriter Gordon Lightfoot on Smiling Friends?
I have no idea who that is, but because of that, I don't know who the fuck that is, but that's the kind of person we would have on because of that. You know what I mean?
Well, what you described, I was thinking about old music as you're talking about. Kevin is talking about the all-star kind of lineup on this, and you're talking about how you wanted it so everybody could listen and appreciate and enjoy, even if they didn't know who those people were. And I'm like, hey, they've put together the Smiling Wilburys, where it's all of these well-known people, but their music together on their own, it stands on its own.
That's perfect. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Where I want people that have no idea even who I am. I want people that have no idea who Mark M is, because it was sort of built on two ways, right? So one way, we knew people were going to get really excited about, again, about seeing Mark M and Mike Stacklasa and all these people put into this thing. But we were also hoping, okay, this thing needs to work 100% on its own. Even if you have no idea who any of us are. That includes Michael and I. Like, we wanted it to be so if you turned your TV on or left your TV on and you've never heard of any of us, but you leave that on and you see that show, that it still works. And you're not going, I'm like, you never want the audience to feel like they're missing an inside joke. That's the worst feeling. So, hopefully, I think it works pretty well on both levels, but, I can only
Have you gotten feedback from people who have no idea who any of these?
We have. We have. I've seen comments of people saying, "I don't get who these e-celebs are, but I enjoyed it." So when you see stuff like that, it's a little bit more encouraging. And also, I've seen people say, one of my favorite tweets of all was somebody said, "My girlfriend really enjoyed Smiling Friends, but she's too ashamed and she doesn't want anybody to know." So we hope our goal also is that hopefully even people that like would go into it trying to hate it would like it. That's kind of, well, that's hopefully our goal, is that people would go into it going, what is this shit? And they would hopefully come out of it with a laugh or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that there's probably 70% of people watching Adult Swim go into a new show with that thought exactly in their mind.
People walking into it hoping to hate it. You can never get everybody. That's ridiculous. Like, you roll with the punches of people even. There's not one show on the planet that's got 100% positive feedback. So we tried to build it to be as entertaining as possible to people who've never heard of us and to people who are, our biggest fans.